Okay, let's get some of the important terms out of the way. Have you heard of the word downturn? Yes? Have you heard of the word recession?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of the word depression? What are these? What do they represent? What do they represent? Downturn, depression.
Sir, acute recession is not a depression.
No, I'm not getting the definition of it right now. So what do they represent?
The sentiments.
Sorry?
They represent the severity of the financial problems.
Okay, not exactly severity of financial problems.
So the negative
But you're
sentiments.
partly right. That's the cause. That's the cause. That's the manifestation.
So the negative
They
sentiments.
represent the different levels, impact on the economic activity. The manifestation of that is in the is the cause of that in the financial crisis. It may be something. It may be drought, for example. The external causes could be anything. In this case, it's a global financial crisis. As a result of that, the GDP will decline. What else will change? Employability, employment. What else will change? Mr. Harish Biyani's shops, the number of footfalls. Retail will have an impact on retail, right? It will have an impact on what else? Money you save in the bank. It will have an impact on savings rate. So these are the ways in which economic activity is measured. Okay? And the economists have defined these as the three terms. Downturn, recession, depression. Okay? Now you and I might think that this is the way I will define depression. You might think this is the way I will define recession. But who cares for what you and I say? So just because I say that this is going to be depression, people won't agree, right? So there must be somebody who will define this in an acceptable way, which globally people will accept. There is a body of institution called the NBER, National Bureau of Economic Research. In the US. That is the body which talks about what could be how these terms could be defined. Okay? These represent basically the order of magnitude of decline in the economic activity in a country. It's the order of magnitude of the decline of the economic activity, and also it represents the duration during which a decline is going to continue. The commonplace newspaper definition of recession is GDP growth declining by, any guesses? By 2 consecutive quarters. That is the back of the envelope calculation. Though NBER does not agree with this, NBER says there must be a change in 4 factors. Because this is essentially, we are talking about a change in the business cycle. Yeah? Change in business activity would mean a changes in the business cycle. And NBER says there are 4 factors which you need to take into account, which this simple definition of declining of 2 consecutive quarters does not sort of encompass the 4 factors. What are the 4 factors? One is, and very easy, is the consumer confidence. In the US, as you know, there is a index of consumer confidence. Who brings it out? Any idea? Chicago. invested capital. Okay. The second thing is employment. Who brings it out? There are weekly data on employment levels published by US government. What's the third one? Wholesale and retail sales. Okay? What's the fourth one? That's a wholesale and retail sales. That is Mr. Biani. How Mr. Biani and Metro. So Metro and Mr. Biani, number of people walking into Metro carrying bags, and there's not the number of footfalls what Shoppers Stop or Big Bazaar will have, but number of people who are actually carrying bags. Because Shoppers Stop and Big Bazaar, both of them have food malls. So people may visit them for the food malls, right? And the other one is, the last one is the real money in the system. Okay? In 1929 to 33, the depression happened because something else happened. So they have defined depression in a different way. They define depression as 10% drop in the GDP. Obviously, the 10% drop in GDP can't happen over 1 year, right? It takes quite some time to have a 10% drop in GDP. Therefore, what does it mean? The duration of depression is over a long period of time. Right? There have been two bouts of depression, 1929 to 1933. Then 1937 and 1938. 1937-38 it declined. The US GDP, world GDP declined by 18%. 1929 to 33 it declined by around 33%. So there have been consecutive bouts of depression. Okay. This brings me to, there are two letters which, if you have the reading papers, you would do. What do they stand for? UB stands for ultraviolet rays, of course. What else? Now, if you read any paper consistently for a week, you would come across these letters. Any wild guesses just from the shape of the letters? Yes, anything from the back?
The recovery.
Recovery, only the recovery.
So the shape of the recovery.
Shape of the recovery, only the shape of the recovery. If it's recovering, it's recovering from something, right? Shape of the downfall. So it says three things, right? The rate or the shape of the downfall, the duration of the downfall. Like a well, if this is like this, compared to this, it's different, right? So this is one kind of parabolic curve where it gives the depth of the decline, how deep the recession is, how steep the fall is, and how long the fall is going to last, how is it going to recover, because this represents a very slow, gradual recovery. Yes or no? What does this represent? Sharp recovery. Sharp recovery. So the debate across the world now between economists of various countries is whether everybody agrees that the period of recession is over. That's a general agreement. But there is no agreement currently whether we are on the road to recovery. Is the recovery going to happen in 2009 end, 2010, 2011? For sure, we are on the road to recovery.